Hello, and welcome to this edition of FDA's Tobacco Compliance Webinars, Education and Information for Retailers and Small Businesses, sponsored by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and its Center for Tobacco Products, Office of Compliance and Enforcement. In this webinar, we will provide a brief overview of Section 905 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, or FD&C Act, Establishment Registration and Product Listing Requirements for Tobacco Product Manufacturers, and we will show our viewers the new Tobacco Registration and Product Listing module Next Generation. Let's go ahead and get started. Section 905 of the FD&C Act covers the annual registration and product listing requirements. 1. Section 905A1 defines the term manufacture, preparation, compounding, or processing as including repackaging or otherwise changing the container, wrapper, or labeling of any tobacco product package in furtherance of the distribution of the tobacco product from the original place of manufacture to the person who makes final delivery or sale to the ultimate consumer or user. 2. Section 905B requires owners and operators of establishments in any U.S. state, territory, or D.C. engaged in the manufacturing, preparing, compounding, or processing of a tobacco product to register on or before December 31st of each year. 3. Section 905I3 requires that any changes in the product list be submitted biannually, once during June and once during December. Next, we will review the Tobacco Registration and Product Listing Module Next Generation, also referred to as TRLM-NG. The Center for Tobacco Products, or CTP, introduced TRLM-NG in August 2020. TRLM-NG replaced the FDA Unified Registration Listing System Tobacco Registration and Product Listing Module, or FURLS-TRLM. TRLM-NG has been modernized to streamline the process for registering and updating registered establishment and product listings. The TRLM-NG landing page gives tobacco industry users access to TRLM-NG so that they can create an account and register their establishments and list their products. Additionally, TRLM-NG allows users to provide information about registration and product listing updates. If the users experience an issue, there is a Need Help web link on the top right-hand corner of the landing page that contains downloadable resources, such as TRLM-NG user guides, training videos, industry training videos, and TRLM-NG FAQs. Next, we will highlight the benefits to using the new TRLM-NG system. The new TRLM-NG site allows industry users to review guidance on FDA registration and product listing requirements for establishments, register establishments, products, and material files with FDA, update registration information annually and product listing changes biannually to comply with statutory requirements. You can access TRLM-NG at https://trlm-ng-industry.fda.gov. Next, we will cover who should register their establishment and submit product listing information. Every person who owns or operates any domestic establishment engaged in manufacturing, preparing, compounding, or processing regulated tobacco products must register under Section 905B of the FD&C Act, and every registrant must file a list of its regulated tobacco products in accordance with Section 905I of the FD&C Act. An owner or operator may authorize a third-party agent to register their establishment and submit product listing information on its behalf. An importer who does not own or operate such an establishment is not subject to the requirements of Section 905B or Section 905I of the FD&C Act. Currently, foreign establishments are not required to register and list until FDA issues regulations establishing such requirements in accordance with Section 905H of the FD&C Act. We will now review registration and when to update an establishment's registration and product listing in TRLM-NG. When an establishment first engages in the manufacturing of a tobacco product in any domestic establishment, the owner or operator shall immediately register. We request firms update their registration when the establishment no longer engages in the manufacturing, preparing, compounding, or processing of any tobacco product, including repackaging and relabeling of tobacco products. Additionally, it can vary based on each business's situation. For example, we request that you inactivate your establishment registration if the establishment has closed, if it has become solely a retail establishment and no longer engages in manufacturing practices, if you are solely an importer or a brand owner who is not conducting manufacturing activities outlined in 905A1. As a reminder for establishments, we will review what types of updates should be included in biannual product list updates. 1. If you have introduced a tobacco product into commercial distribution and have not included that product in a previous submission, then you are required to provide the complete product listing information. 2. If you have discontinued manufacturing a product for commercial distribution since the last report, you are required to provide notice that the product has been discontinued, along with the date of the discontinuance. 3. If you had a product listing that was marked as discontinued in a previous report, and you have since resumed manufacturing for commercial distribution, then you are required to provide notice of the resumption, the date of the resumption, and complete current product listing information. And 4. Any material change in any information previously submitted. We will now review how establishments may report updates and changes. FDA recommends that you submit your registration and product listing updates online using FDA's Tobacco Registration and Listing Module Next Generation, or TRLM-NG. Industry users can use TRLM-NG to streamline the data entry process for multiple establishments. The hyperlink to TRLM-NG is on this slide. Although electronic submissions are not required, FDA strongly encourages electronic submissions to facilitate efficiency and timeliness of data submission and management. Alternatively, establishments can use FDA Forms 3741 and 3741A to submit registration and product listing information to FDA. Please note that you don't have to wait until June or December of each year to update registration or product listings. You can do so at any time once your business operation changes. The main goal of this webinar is to remind and encourage industry to comply with registration and product listing requirements. Who must register their establishments, when and how to update an establishment's registration and product list in TRLM-NG, and types of updates to include in biannual updates 905I. Included on this slide are some helpful resources. You can download the slides accompanying this webinar, which will include the links to these resources. Additionally, if users need further assistance, users can use the Contact the FDA feature on the Need Help page. The Need Help page also has helpful resources to guide you through the registration and listing process, including the TRLM-NG User Guide, TRLM-NG training videos, and a frequently asked questions section. If you have any TRLM NG questions, you can call us at 1-877-CTP-1373 or email us at askctp@fda.hhs.gov. For other questions, technical assistance, or guidance finding the right resources, you can contact the Office of Small Business Assistance by email, phone, or mail using the contact information listed on the screen. This brings us to the close of this webinar, brought to you by the Center for Tobacco Products, protecting our kids and the nation's health from the dangers of tobacco.